Superhero Stuff You Should Know is part of the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Hey, this is Ben from Superhero Stuff You Should Know, and I have an important announcement for you guys. At the end of every single episode of Superhero Stuff You Should Know, you might hear us shout out to our fans, one of whom is Matt Herring, who was one of the original Superhouse fans. He's always given us his support, and now it's time that we support him. We've just recently found out that Matt has been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And as a cancer survivor myself, I know personally that there's a lot of emotional and financial strain that comes into that. His wife, Kelly, has set up a GoFundMe account at gofundme.com/f/Matthew-kicks-cancer039s-butt. And hopefully you can help reduce the financial strain to that, as well as some of the emotional strain that comes with that. Again, that's gofundme.com/f/Matthew-kicks-cancer039s-butt.
Matt Herring was the first, I guess you could say, true Superhouse fan. We were Superhouse at that time. You know, the first fan of this podcast and what we do here, and has always supported us, talked about us, and he's from a town close to where I'm from, and so we share that as well, and just a huge superhero fan, and, you know, nerd like the rest of us, and now he's going through that, and if you could donate just at least any amount of money to that link that Ben just said, that would be truly appreciated. Just hang in there, Matt. You'll beat this thing soon.
Was blind and now I see. Oh my bloody hell.
Da 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 da! Look who's back, world! It's your big blue buddy, Superman.
Did you want you idiots do this? That wasn't me.
You don't have to sing your own bloody theme song. We already get it.
Well, look down there. It's that old cranky rust bucket Metallo and that big-headed little person, Mxyzptlk. Dear Lord, what is that mass over there?
Don't worry about that idiot. That boob on the ground.
That is what's left of Lobo. He's a tit now.
Goodness gracious me!
Lobo the boob. Funny, huh?
Hi, Mxy, you've done some messed up stuff before, but great Odin's beard, this is too far.
You know, one boob is not enough. You do need a pair.
Don't get too close to him, Soups. I thought this was a great life, gonna be a knocker and all, but I can't move down to the strip club, so, you know, do your thing. Do your thing and take him out.
All right, Metallo, finish up this bloody funeral.
You see that, Soup? It's a talking boob.
Lobo, I volunteer to take you to the titty club and, you know, potentially spend some merchandise, you know, some currency myself. I'll let these two continue on fighting, and I'll be out of it.
Yeah, take me out there, Metallo. I'm gonna shake my moneymaker, which is pretty much my whole body. Let's do it.
Yes.
So you're gonna have a scene where Superman is throwing a bodiless boob onto a strip club stage. Is that what's happening?
No, it's Metallo. Mxy, you gotta get your glasses out.
So Metallo is gonna be throwing a bodiless boob onto a fucking stage in front of everybody? This is better than my coffin idea.
Hey, watch those Roman hands and Russian fingers there, Metallo.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Sorry, I was built this way.
I'm gonna have to take you out, Mxy, because this is some messed up shit. And I don't cuss very often, but dear Lord, this is too much for me to handle. Did I come back to life for this?
Just try it.
Yes, Superman, fight the little person as I go to the titty club. This is the perfect combination for me.
I'm not above hitting him, so, well...
I'm an agent of chaos.
Well, did you look behind you there, Mxy?
What?
I didn't see that over there. It's a giant mirror.
Okay, I'll look at the mirror. Oh, my name's written on my hat.
Oh, that's what it is. It's Kiltisayum or something.
No, you idiot, it's Kill Tipsysome. Ah, fuck!
That five-headed fool, he falls for it every time. Hey, look at this. I'm not a giant tit anymore.
Last week, Superman died. But that's okay, because he's coming back this week in a special episode on the return of Superman.
He's back.
It is I, once again. It's Ben with me, as usual.
Oh, man, it's me, everybody. We're here again. He's back. We're back. Everybody's back.
Superman's
and also
back.
This guy.
Zach's back.
Zack's back. Zack Attack is back. Zachary Jackson Brown at your service.
Well, a little bit more subdued than normal.
We left off discussing what was the best version of the death of Superman. Now we're going to dive into what's the best version of the return of Superman. But let's go off of where we left off and sort of recap where we went. So we talked about the original comic book arc, and we compared it to the adaptations, which are Superman Doomsday, the 2007 movie, the Zack Snyder movies, BVS, and Justice League, and The Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen, which are the 2018-2019 animated movies.
I remember us going over that.
Seems like it was just yesterday.
Or sooner than that.
In terms of points, it was comics 1, Superman Doomsday 0, the Zack Snyder movies 1, Death of Superman, Reign of the Supermen 2. So right now they are in the lead. The latest adaptation of the storyline is in the lead on this.
Indeed.
It's as if they had all the previous adaptations to learn from
Yeah.
and do the best version. of it.
They had time to think about this shit.
So we ended up with Doomsday and Superman killing each other, and now we're going to go into the rest of the storyline. The first part being a multi-issue arc called Funeral for a Friend.
Yeah.
Now, you would think this is insane because it's like 8 issues on the guy's funeral.
Yeah.
And you're like, how could you possibly
Yeah, we
make
got
this
a
interesting?
big ass eulogy from Booster Gold and shit.
Booster, I'll tell you who gives the eulogy. It's not Booster Gold.
It's Martha Manhunt.
Yeah. The strength of this part, I realized that the best part of this arc is actually not the death itself. It's everything that happens afterwards. It's
If the death is your favorite part, it's masochistic as hell.
But it's
Maybe Frank Miller's favorite part.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, maybe. Actually, I think he's more of a fan than we think.
Yeah, he probably is. We just like to joke with
Superman
that.
One, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's where, in my opinion, the real story starts. Is what happens after he dies,
Right.
And getting that emotional connection of like, even if you're not a huge Superman fan, you read the stuff and you get the emotional connection because he's such a cultural icon.
His death is more like the inciting incident.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
And that's kind of how they play it off in Superman Doomsday. It happens in like the first act of the whole
Right.
movie, and so the rest of the movie is like, what do you do afterwards? So this is a long arc that covers people's reactions to the death of Superman and their mourning period. Clark Kent is believed to be missing among the rubble, believed to be dead from the fight because a lot of people...
He's died as well.
There's a lot of destruction going on.
That is so weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of destruction going on in Metropolis, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they do cover it. Yeah, they can cover it like that.
So let's cover a little bit of the funeral. Lois Lane initially refuses to go. Just because it's too hard on her.
Okay,
but then
yeah.
she finds that there's a plaque outside of the Daily Planet that is in tribute to Superman because that's the spot where he died. And she sees that plaque and she says, I'm coming, Clark. And she decides to go to the memorial.
He hasn't heard that before.
Yeah.
You got him, man. Low-hanging fruit once again.
Yeah, she is
By the
pregnant.
way, this is Superman we're talking about. I think he could get the job done.
Oh, yeah, I
If
think
he can't, I don't know. There's no hope for humanity.
I would argue Superman doesn't need her to tell him that.
Yeah,
He
right?
already knows.
Yeah. or Lois is just fucking
Yeah.
no hope for her. if Superman can't get it done.
No. Of course not. So her going to this memorial outside of Daily Planet kind of reminded me of the Zack Snyder's Justice League, where she has that ritual of going to the memorial in the rain a little bit. So kind of similar. So we go to the eulogy, and the eulogy is not from Booster Gold. It's not from Martha Manhunter.
Mr. Mxyzptlk.
It's not Mr. Mxyzptlk.
He says it backwards just to fuck with
Kill
you.
gypsies. Oh, fuck. So that's Zach's guess. What's your guess in terms of who does the eulogy?
Maxima.
Not Maximo.
Oh.
President William Clinton does the eulogy.
Really?
Bill Clinton is in the funeral for a
They
friend
immortalize his ass
with
this shit.
Hillary Clinton beside him.
Man, so
Bill
of the
Clinton.
time,
And Monica
dude.
to the other side.
Because the other side, yes.
She's just out of panel. Let's put it that way.
So President Clinton does the eulogy for Superman. That surprised me. This is definitely 1992.
Yeah.
And
William Jefferson Clinton.
The Justice League is there. They have these armbands with the Superman insignia on it. And Wonder Woman helps close the coffin. There's that famous image of the Justice League sort of almost in like a parade being the pallbearers for this. It's a very public funeral in Metropolis, and the only two people who decide not to go are Jonathan and Martha Kent. Because they know that no one else knows that they're the parents of Superman.
That would make sense.
Yeah, they're never going to be able to get close enough, so they decide to do their own funeral in Smallville.
That is very sad, though. Because in this one, the actual body is there, unlike the Snyder one.
The actual body is buried as Superman.
As Superman. Yeah.
So the Kents decide to do their own funeral back home, let the world bury Superman. They're going to bury their son, Clark. So they take his childhood belongings, his teddy bear, all the stuff that he grew up in, and they go to the site where the rocket ship landed, where they found his, where they found him as a baby, and they bury it there.
That's sad as hell.
As their way to say goodbye. It's heartbreaking when you think about, like,
that's why I didn't read it.
Both parents alive. Honestly, this is harder to read than the actual death.
Yeah.
The actual death is just a big fist fight.
I guess I'll finally get to it after we do this series.
For a friend, you're just like, oh my god.
You were tearing up while reading this?
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
It's hard not to.
You have a soul, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, now that especially now it's both Jonathan and Martha.
Yeah.
As opposed to just Martha. Not that it's less heartbreaking with Martha, but it's two people who raised him. And Jonathan, of course, feels guilty, and he has all these flashbacks of raising Clark and how, maybe I shouldn't have told him to put on the cape and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's dealing with a lot of that type of guilt. So that's the comic book version of the funeral. Let's go into the different adaptations. So Superman Doomsday, the Daily Planet crew goes to say goodbye at a very public funeral. The eulogy is done by the mayor. There's no President Clinton because this is 2007, and that would be weird at that point.
They learn their mistakes. Why would they put a real president in there anyway? Despite any political affiliation or any whatever the president did during office.
To me, it makes sense because this is such a big cultural phenomenon. People who are not used to buying comics are now buying comics just to find out, what's going on with the Superman. Superman's dead. There's a funeral. They wanted to root it in the real world. So just like how the real world was kind of mourning Superman, like Metropolis is mourning Superman, I guess they wanted to sort of reflect that, put Clinton in there. Like, I understand it. In 2021, it feels really weird to get to that point because it takes you out of it. And you're like, oh yeah, this is 1992.
Right.
But like...
Pre-Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Or us finding out about Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say that it makes sense for what they're trying to do. Let's see. So, back in Superman Doomsday, it's the mayor who gives the eulogy. Martha Kent actually does go to Metropolis for that, but she cannot get close to the body. The Justice League is not there because the Justice League is not in Superman Doomsday. Here's what's interesting, though. Unlike other versions, Clark Kent was assigned to go to Afghanistan on assignment. So no one actually thinks that Clark is dead. They just think that something happened to him in Afghanistan. That's why Lois hasn't heard from him.
That's pre all the Afghanistan stuff too, because that was Bush era. Oh no, that was during this time though.
2007.
2007. Oh, that was during. That was.
Yeah.
Time,
We're in the middle of that, but
yeah,
that's interesting because this is the only version that has that as a possible explanation outside of like, oh, Clark also died at the same day that Superman died.
Right.
So I think they were deliberately being like, yeah, let's not do that.
Right.
Lois does visit Martha later in the story and bring up how she's the only person who understands what it is like to be unable to tell anybody what she's really going through and unable to know who he really was. And that's
right.
It seems like it's very similar to that scene with Martha Manhunter in Zack Snyder's Justice League, except with Lois saying it instead of Martian Manhunter.
Right.
Batman versus Superman. This is the only version where we get two funerals going on at the same time.
Okay.
Outside of the comic book, the comic book just had them bury stuff. This one, there's an actual funeral for Clark Kent in Smallville, and they bury Clark.
Yeah.
They actually have Clark's body there, and it's somewhat of an open casket. Kind of. I remember they opened the casket, and he's got the photo of Jonathan Kent with him to be buried in it.
Right.
So Clark is believed to be dead from the Battle of Doomsday, much like in the other versions. There is a very public Superman funeral in Washington that Martian Manhunter, a.k.a. Swanwick, and Carrie Ferris are at. And then there's a Clark Kent funeral in Smallville where Martha, Lois, Lana Lang, Dick Splash Pete Ross and Father Leon are at. And this is the only version where people clearly see Clark's body. And this is where Martha reveals that Clark was going to propose to Lois. Bruce Wayne is there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really didn't think about it till just now, but okay, so let's say the Superman funeral is closed casket. In Zack Snyder's Superman, how did they fool everyone into thinking a body was even in there? Like, what happened? Like, how did Superman's body get undressed and go to Smallville? And who gets in that coffin? Like, I just want to know what the process is. Like, how do they? If other people know that there's nothing in the coffin, where do they think Superman's body is?
I don't know. Ask Zack Snyder.
These are the questions I want answered.
Yeah. So, I bet you
Snyder on Vero.
He has an explanation, though, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I mean, all the shit we thought didn't have explanations, it's all been thought through, so...
Martian Manhunter, if he wasn't out there, he could have been pretending to be Superman laying in the box, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe this is where Martian Manhunter like shows up like behind the scenes because he's with the military, right? Or it's Swanwick.
So you think he telepathically makes everyone think that there's a body in the casket?
That's one way. Yeah,
they put some rocks in there to make it heavy, like
Lex Luthor donates.
Well, you could change the weight of a casket easily.
Yeah,
but who made the casket?
Bruce Wayne, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. This is unexplained. We're gonna deep dive this for the next episode.
I'm sorry, I derailed us, but I just thought about that now.
Light bulb went off.
Well, there's also the other thing where it's just like if everyone knows that Clark Kent is dead and he had a funeral that people saw the body, how would they explain Clark Kent is back on the streets in Zack Snyder's Justice League? So there's that too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Obviously, as we covered in the Justice League 2 and 3 sequel plans, the original idea was that Clark would stay dead. He would just be Superman the full time. But that's not what we got in Zack Snyder's Justice League because they already abandoned those plans.
It's not watertight. Let's put it that way.
It's not as watertight as that casket, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clark's is pretty loose, but the Superman one's like, that's heavy duty.
Yeah.
I spent money on that.
Strangely light.
It's a cool coffin, though.
Yeah.
Whoever made that coffin for the movie.
With the Superman insignia on it.
Yeah. Perfect.
I think those movies would have been stronger if they just had been like, Clark Kent was Superman after he died and just had the one casket. And then I feel like, I don't know, that would have been like a revelation to people that he was just like mostly a nobody or something.
Else, the entire Justice League finds out.
Yeah. What's stopping
dig up his
him?
Body.
Yeah, that's true.
It also would have been more interesting, I would argue, to see them get the body from like an official tomb as opposed to digging it up from Smallville.
Yeah, really.
And Victor doing that. I'm like, this is in this version too? Okay.
It was much less weird though in Zack Snyder's.
Yes.
I don't know why, but it was awkward as hell in Justice League.
It's the Aquaman Wonder Woman conversation in the background that helps save it.
It buttresses.
Yeah,
it
grounds it into like, okay, like here's what's going on character-wise, so that you're not thinking about how weird is it that Flash and Victor Stone are in the Smallville cemetery just digging up a pot.
So fucking weird, man.
I know.
Off-putting.
That's why I'm just like, just put him in the tomb, just keep it in the comics. The body is in the tomb. He's buried as Superman.
Yeah.
Like that.
Bring back the wrestler thing from the comics.
Yeah, forget about the wrestler thing, but stay true to this part. And then as part of the funeral, Bruce Wayne and Diana talk about forming the Justice League, and Bruce Wayne off screen presumably or internally makes the promise on Superman's grave as he discusses in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that's their version of it. The Death of Superman movie ends with a funeral. Similar to Superman Doomsday, it all happens in Metropolis. There's no President Clinton. It's the mayor who gives the speech. Lex Luthor has to do a eulogy, though.
That's who I thought you were going to say before you said Clinton, actually. Yeah.
Lex Luthor has to do the eulogy in The Death of Superman, which I'm sure is just to his chagrin. And then, heartbreaking, the Kents do show up and try to get closer, but security is like, I'm sorry, but public has to stay back behind here.
Shit.
Yeah, because nobody knows.
Damn.
The Justice League is in attendance. Hal Jordan's Green Lantern does a bit of a tribute to him, but Clark is once again believed to be dead from the Battle of Doomsday, much like the other versions. But he doesn't get a funeral. We don't get a Clark Kent funeral. So let's go then into this is a terrible question, but what's the best funeral? So
You're reaching deep for these.
Harley Quinn's like, you really put the fun in funeral, Mr. J. So,
Oh, shit, man.
so we got the comic book version with the Justice League in procession, President Clinton doing the eulogy, the Kents at home doing their own funeral for Clark. We got Superman Doomsday, where Clark is just presumed missing across the other side of the world. Martha goes to Metropolis. There is no Justice League. We have BVS, where there are dual funerals, one in Smallville, one in Washington, but nobody knows what's in the casket in Washington, as Zack pointed out. And then we have this latest one with the death of Superman, with the Justice League being there, Lex Luthor having to give the eulogy, the Kents trying to be there, but they can't really get any closer. Zack, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with my imaginary one where everybody knows it's Clark Kent afterwards. No,
You're making one up.
That doesn't count.
I will say that
He Kobayashi Maru'd this shit.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna watch Reign of the Supermen, and the Death of Superman, and that one is probably gonna be my favorite version still. However, if Bill Clinton was playing the saxophone in the comic, I think it would tip it over in its favor.
He's playing Amazing Grace.
Yes. By the
He's
way,
playing it like Kenny G.
That's all I want now.
Lewinsky didn't happen until '98. This is '92. We're still in like prime Clinton years. So.
Second
Still in high
term
school.
Clinton.
Yeah.
He got comfortable in the office.
A little too comfortable, yeah.
In fact.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Death of Superman animated movie.
I gotta go with the Clinton one, man. It's just hilarious. I love it. This is like almost as good as the wrestling
funeral,
thing.
though.
Still though, bro. I need some levity in these dark times.
Okay, well, my vote is for the comic, not because of Clinton, but just because of it's the one where you feel the most weight, in my opinion, of the fact that a pop culture icon has died. And
What does Clinton say? Is it actually worth a damn?
I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect any official to say about like the death of Superman. How like he was always looking out for us, and there's nothing. It's not like has any sort of.
It's not Russell
jokes.
Crowe, Man of Steel, delivering Morrison lines.
No.
Nothing like that.
And that's the version you said
that's
where his parents burying his childhood belongings. That is some pretty sad shit. So
Yeah. Like as I think
some sad shit.
Yeah. The animated movie, it's still sad that they don't let them get closer, but that's like one moment versus like panels of them being like, I guess this is how we do it, and they just gather all the things and put it in, and it's just like, geez. And again, 8 issues on a funeral for a friend. Again, it's not all the funeral. The funeral is the main part of it, but it's you have the most time to explore everybody's mourning period. Jimmy Olsen's mourning period. Perry White's mourning period. Jimmy Olsen is taking pictures of the death of Superman, and he hates the fact that that's his most popular. Those are his most popular photos is pictures of his friend.
Right.
So
sad
type of stuff. So my vote is for the comic, yours as well, but for very different reasons.
Yes.
So,
Come on, man. I love the silly.
Comic 2, Superman Doomsday 0, Snyder 1, and Death of Superman, Reign of the Supermen 2. So comic versus the animated movies, pretty much. However, I will propose, do we give a point to Superman Doomsday because A, it hasn't gotten a point yet, and B, it has a good explanation for why nobody suspects Clark and Superman are the same person, because Clark isn't even supposedly in Metropolis during the time that this happens.
The Afghanistan thing?
Yeah. Sure, give it a point.
Okay. Pity point? Sure.
We're making up the rules. Why not? Yeah.
I just think that it's a good explanation.
By the way, you're not writing these down. You're keeping track of this all in your head.
Pretty much.
It's impressive. Impressive.
I forgot to have anything in front of me. We're already recording, so
damn.
Keeping track of it in my mind.
Very good.
So, all right. So that is now everyone has 1 point except for the comic, which has 2, and Death of Superman / Reign of the Supermen, which also has 2. So let's then go into the actual Reign of the Supermen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Eradicator.
This is where we go from the BVS into Justice League. We go from the Death of Superman animated movie into the Reign of the Supermen movie. So before we go into the comparisons, though, let's talk about the comic book behind the scenes story of this. So the Doomsday storyline, obviously massive success, millions of copies. And after Funeral for a Friend, they're just like, all right, let's bring back Superman, but let's explore potential replacements just to further demonstrate how no one can really replace the big man himself.
That's a great idea. Also increases like the toys you can sell. And
Hell yeah.
all the random bullshit. But all the shit they introduce is really cool.
Yeah, that too.
Eradicator, steal all that. We'll get into it, I guess. All right.
So the writers brainstormed different potential Supermen, and when it came down to it, they were just like, let's do all of them. So
Cyborg, yeah. Who gives a fuck?
they have 4 potential replacements for Supermen, but they wanted to end it with Superman returning from the dead saying nobody could replace the original. So let's go into it. For those who are watching it on YouTube, we have a bit of a visual for you. I've got this open book of Les Daniels' The Complete History of Superman, and it has the advertisement saying Superman is back, but is any of them the real Man of Steel? Reign of the Superman. Check it out. And it has all the illustrations of the different ones.
Is that the book with the gold part on the front? Is it gold on the front of the book?
Sorry, what?
Oh, the front of the book itself? Yeah, it is gold,
It's got
yeah, I've got that one.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, here are the 4 Supermen. Let's go in a certain order. Let's start with this guy. He is the last son of Krypton. This is Superman with sunglasses as well as electric powers that come out of his hands. He seems to be a dark vigilante Superman who at one point says, quote, all who sin shall know the vengeance of Superman.
This is Eradicator, though, right?
Yeah, it's actually the Eradicator.
Yeah.
At one point, there's a criminal who's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Superman.
Bitch.
I gotta read that shit.
So, yes, as Andrew has brought up, he is secretly a Kryptonian program called the Eradicator, whose mission is to preserve all things Kryptonian.
He is a robot, too?
He's a robot, too.
But not Cyborg Superman. Oh,
He's not
Cyborg
Cyborg.
is half human. This is full robot.
He's a Kryptonian program, so by our human standards, he's a program robot type of thing. But has all sorts of, like, at one point he's like an essence of energy.
Yeah, so this is like a sci-fi idea that's really far out.
So he's an android.
Kind of, yeah. He's a Kryptonian android type, assigned since his programming to preserve all things Kryptonian. And so when it comes to, he's had a few adventures with Superman. Mm-hmm. But as
was he made by Bertrand?
No, he's not made by Bertrand. I think he's made by somebody named Cleric.
Birdie. I'm going to call him Birdie from now on.
But when he first shows up, he and Superman have a few adventures, and he ends up forming a base, the Fortress of Solitude. So in the post-crisis
Fortress
comics,
of Eradication.
No, the Fortress of Solitude is created by the Eradicator in the post-crisis comics.
Really?
Because he's trying to preserve Krypton, and that's one of the things. So
well, that makes sense.
Superman initially is a little reluctant to use it as his headquarters because it's just like, well, this is tribute to a home I never really lived in, and it's created by this guy, not by me. Sort of.
That's cool.
What's going on? But
and if Rebirth probably still is going off on that, probably.
Maybe. I mean, I think the more traditional thing is that Superman just kind of creates it in tribute to Krypton rather than the Eradicator. The Eradicator's kind of, when you start explaining shit from the 90s, it's just like, okay, wait. So the Eradicator is this robot from ancient Krypton who shows up in Earth, and he creates the Fortress of Solitude, and then Superman throws him into the sun at one point. This is what it really happens. He gets thrown into the sun at one point. Superman dies, but then the essence of the Eradicator shows up on Earth again, and he's like, well, I must continue my purpose. And he finds Superman's body, and he decides that I must take over this body, but he's not able to do it. So instead, he steals Superman's body from the tomb, takes it to the Fortress of Solitude, puts it into a regeneration matrix, and decides to feed off that energy to become the last son of Krypton, copying Clark Kent's body so that he can become his own Superman. But because the energy is low or something like that, he's very weak to light, so that's why he wears the sunglasses, and that's why he's the last son of Krypton.
Man,
comics.
That's like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor complicated.
So,
I thought it was just a robot that liked glasses, so I gotta fucking do all this shit.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's Superman, you know?
So the reason why so many people think he's the real Superman is that he basically has cloned himself a Kal-El body to use.
Okay.
This whole time. So he looks like Superman, but he's also dark vigilante Superman. And
he doesn't have the boots.
He what?
It's no red boots.
No red booties, no trunks.
No
or anything
trunks.
Like that. He's got these black outlines on the outside.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was a shadow for a second. Yeah, it's black outlines. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then he's got these electrical powers that come out of his hands.
Nice.
So he calls himself the last son of Krypton, but he's really the Eradicator.
He's fake.
And he kind of has his own arc through it where he ends up, because, he's like, I'm the real Superman. And then when Superman comes back, he's just like, well, never mind. Now my purpose is to help you.
Right.
And then the next one is Superboy, as you can see even clearer on this side.
Slamming.
Very 90s-ish. So Superboy is a clone of Superman created by Cadmus Labs. And he escapes when he's only grown up to be a teenager. And he's super cocky, very unlikable at first, hates being called Superboy, prefers to be called Superman, ends up getting a jacket from the Newsboy Legion, which is a whole bunch of clones at Cadmus Labs.
The Newsies.
The Legionnaires. They end up giving him the jacket, and then he steals sunglasses off of these criminals that he helps stop. Very cocky individual, and it would later be revealed in the comics that they couldn't completely clone Superman without some sort of human element. So they had to take the DNA from, do you guys know?
Luthor, right?
It's Winky.
Lex Luthor.
Oh.
Yeah. Lex Luthor's Winky.
Oh, whoa.
Which oddly has hair on it.
So Superboy is technically the son of Clark Kent and Lex Luthor.
So
Take that, shippers.
Take that, people that don't like progressive stuff.
I mean,
the word
Adam
is.
and
he wasn't
Steve.
created that way.
There's proof right here that it works.
Yes. All right. The next one is somebody who I know you've been itching to talk about.
Steel? Oh,
The Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah.
The Man of Steel. He originally comes out calling himself the Man of Steel.
Right.
And he's got a cape. But this is actually John Henry Irons, a black man in a steel suit and a giant hammer with the Superman insignia. John Henry, of course, being
The
named
folk
after
song.
The Tall Tale. Yeah. He's the only one who's made it into the movies in the form of Shaq.
Yeah.
Now, Shaquille O'Neal's 1998.
Who was a
Steel.
huge Superman fan.
Yes.
Have you seen pictures of his Miami
He's got
mansion?
the tattoo, right?
He's got a tattoo.
Yeah.
I think he sold that mansion since then. But he's Superman symbols everywhere. Superman rooms. Mm-hmm. He's an insane Superman fan.
Yeah.
He said he sees Shaq as a Superman persona, and Shaquille is his Clark Kent persona. Like it goes deep. His love is deep.
So he got to be Steel in 1998's Steel, widely regarded as one of the worst comic book movies of all time. But I don't think that's completely his fault.
At least he had a dream.
I know.
He lived out his dream. That's cool. But we do need to see like this. Well, well, never mind. No spoilers. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see this on the big screen someday, whenever that is.
Yes, we did have an alternative idea to introduce Steel in the Snyderverse in our Man of Tomorrow pitch.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we did do that.
However, there's also the fact that he's technically back. I don't know if you want to talk about that at this point. It's many weeks after.
Yeah, he's back on a certain show.
Yes,
in a certain way.
In a way that we didn't expect.
Yeah. We'll give you more time if you haven't seen it.
We'll dive into it on the Patreon.
Anyway, see Superman and Lois.
Yeah. Anyway, Cyborg Superman is the last one. Not to be confused with Cyborg Victor Stone. He's Cyborg Superman, as if this can't be. It's totally confusing enough. He also has half a face.
Yeah.
With a robot.
You have to do that with a cyborg, though.
So he looks like Superman if he were made up as a Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 90s, bro.
And Professor Hamilton does studies on him, and he's like, well, obviously the cybernetic parts are robotic, but the organic tissue is an exact match of Superman. So maybe this is Superman. He just came back, evolved, and he's part Terminator. And even Lois is like, maybe this is true. Maybe this is him. Of course, it's not, because Cyborg Superman is the villain of Reign of the Supermen.
Right.
So who is he? All right, so let's explain Hank Henshaw.
Here we go with another.
Here we go. So they wanted to do a dark parody of the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
Is that what this fucking shit's all
go,
about?
They're astronauts. They go out into space. They get hit with radiation. They come back with superpowers.
Okay.
In this version, Hank Henshaw and his wife and their two friends go up into space and get hit by the radiation. But instead of getting superpowers, they're dying horrifically. So
DC's
more realistic, yes.
DC's always been darker. Snyder's like, yes.
At one point, Hank Henshaw basically becomes technology. He becomes part of a computer. He can go from one machine to the next.
Okay.
His wife is fading in and out of existence, and so in order to make up for things, he creates his own cybernetic body. But his wife is so horrified by this, she goes insane and she jumps out of a window and kills herself. So, because of the radiation,
Bright and cheery over there at DC.
The radiation is partially caused by Superman throwing the Eradicator into the sun. Now he's back, the guy who came back as an energy essence and took Superman's body and cloned himself and all that stuff. So, Hank Henshaw blames Superman for what's happened to him.
Okay.
And the death of his wife. Yeah. And naturally. And so he ends up, because he can go from machine to machine, in the birthing matrix, which is the spaceship that Clark first landed in Smallville.
Oh, so that's the machinery inside that space pod.
So he uses that to create his own Superman body, just like Eradicator created his own Superman body.
Actually pretty cool.
And that's why his tissue, his DNA, is an exact match to Superman's.
Congratulations, DC of the 90s. That's you did it.
It's
great.
It's as complicated as fuck origin, but
complicated. But I like him. If you're going to go, if you're that being seeking out the best technology anywhere on the earth,
Kryptons.
Yeah, you would go straight for that.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense.
I have two questions.
Zack is still bewildered. Okay, yes.
Here we go.
So one, why doesn't he just make his whole self look like Superman? Why does he have certain parts of the cybernetic Terminator body still showing?
I'm guessing he's limited in his powers.
Okay, all right, I get that. Also, they went to space and all this stuff happened to begin with? Did I catch that? So when his wife throws herself out the window, are they still in space?
No.
That's what I was wondering.
I just imagine her like
they go back to Earth.
Getting
she gets sucked into the void of space.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think they come.
There's a period of time. Okay. Yeah. I thought this all happened on the spaceship, and she was just like, and just threw herself out the window into space.
Oh God!
It's better than being with you.
That would have been great, actually.
We're revising this. We're rewriting this.
This is
now.
part of the Ben Wan rewrite. I think.
Yep.
Keep it in space, so she throws herself out into space.
I thought it was like he got battle damage, and so his skin just started to show. He comes out of the Matrix like this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think part of it is also because they thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he looked like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you're not
aesthetically.
sure which one's the real Superman.
We have to remember this is 92, 93.
Yeah.
Did Terminator 2 come out in 92?
I think
91. I think.
91.
Yeah.
This is really the main reason. There's no other fucking reason.
Terminator did it,
Yeah.
so we're going to do it. So those are the four Supermen. You basically have a former antagonist who's set up for kind of a redemption arc with the Eradicator. You have two heroic characters, or potentially more heroic characters, who make their debuts, who end up getting their own comic book storylines of Steel and Superboy. And then you have the secret villain of this whole thing, which is the Cyborg Superman.
Mm-hmm. Let us now talk about our favorite of these four.
Yes. So who is your favorite,
Zack,
out of these?
Well, I think as a written character, I really do like Steel. I think he's very cool. But visually, I do like Cyborg Superman because he looks like a Terminator Superman. And I think that would be really cool to draw. But yeah, if I had to read about a character, it probably would be Steel more so. I think I have an Elseworlds book with him in it that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Steel's the most likable, for sure.
Yes.
God, it's sort of a toss-up between Cyborg and Eradicator for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like... Yeah, I might go Eradicator, actually. I don't know why. I think it's a cool look. I like the visor look and the sun powers, and he's evil. And is he quippy?
He's quippy in a, like, I got badass lines, like, all who sin shall get the vengeance of Superman.
So yeah, that is my answer. I do like them all, and no one's going to say Superboy probably, but it's a very 90s look.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I kind of like it too. And whenever they did Superboy the Rebirth, it looked like a kind of a Power Ranger suit, like all black and red. Thought that was a great redesign too.
Mm-hmm.
But this one here in the 90s, I don't hate it either. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
You?
I like the designs. I think Eradicator is actually my least favorite visually, but my most favorite out of the characters.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess visually, Steel's pretty cool, and he's the most likable out of the four, of course, on it. And then Cyborg Superman is a good villain. is just that origin, man. I'm just like,
Overly complex.
there's just so much to it.
Convoluted.
There's a reason why when he's been adapted, they've never really carried that over.
Okay, yeah,
into
it's
any of
way
those.
too much.
Yeah, it's too much stuff.
I mean,
So,
they need to do that shit in the movies, man. I mean, it's so fucking good.
dude,
Cyborg
imagine
Superman.
Cavill versus Cavill.
I'll tell you, Cavill's up for it. I think Cavill's up for it.
Him because
Versus the mustache.
yes. Because really, you would need the guy who plays Superman to play these two characters for this to be believable.
I mean, yeah, it's all the fucking same DNA except for Steel.
Yeah.
No, well,
I mean, yeah, but
this
Superboy's
is
supposed to be
Luthor.
the younger version, so you don't need, Cavill for that. And then you obviously aren't going to have Cavill as Steel.
Right.
So, yeah,
So
for
you have
Cyborg
three
and Eradicator.
Cavills.
Yeah, because of the fact that he uses the DNA from.
Let me tell you something.
actual
I'm there
Cavill.
for the more Cavill, the better.
He's your man.
Tell you that right now.
All right, let's go into the adaptations of this then. Superman Doomsday decided not to do Reign of the Supermen so much as Reign of the Superman, because they had a Superman clone who's kind of a mix of all of these characters except for John Henry Irons. So, like Superboy, he's a clone.
They tried to simplify it.
They tried to simplify it.
Okay,
yeah.
good. All right.
Yeah. Also because they're trying to do this entire 1 year and a half long storyline into an hour and like 10, 15 minutes.
Right. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, they're just
lot
like, we
going
don't
on.
have time for this shit. So, like the last son of Krypton, aka the Eradicator, he's a Superman willing to kill criminals. He kills Toyman in Superman Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
And like Cyborg Superman, he's the ultimate villain that the real Superman has to fight at the end. So, they decided
last
to
boss.
consolidate. It's what?
He's the last boss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember him
Alright,
killing
Justice League.
Toyman. Yeah, it really was kind
Yeah,
of disturbing.
There's also a bit where Toyman's in this giant spider, and then there's a cameo from Kevin Smith being like, "So what? See, stop the giant spider."
That sounds awesome.
It's a reference to the giant spider that he was
Superman
Yeah.
lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
we'll be doing a little bit of a series on at some point. So
Woo!
anyway,
We've got comments on that also.
yeah,
Yes.
we have.
Saw that, yeah.
So we know that that's in demand. Thank you for that.
Man, I always wanted to do like a cosplay. I want to do that Superman because I got like I have the look. I got the hair.
You should get that ready for the series.
I should. I need.
You need to make an iridescent costume with like light
Getting
LED lights in it.
Commissioning a cosplay is so expensive though, but maybe.
I mean, you could do there's different suits though. So I don't know. No. All right, shall I continue?
Yeah.
Cool. So next is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, obviously, there wasn't really the reign of the Supermen. Instead, they had Superman's sacrifice inspire Batman to form the Justice League. But there wasn't really anything with pretenders or that type of stuff. It took on a different meaning.
They didn't have the time for that. That's so much. It did 4 hours. Like, you know what I mean?
We need another 2 hours of this shit, Snyder, to give us
An hour of Eisenberg Lex for Zack.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Cavill's Superman is dead for most of the movie, so you might as well give him some more work as Eradicator and Cyborg Superman.
That's true, man. That's
So-
true.
But yeah, they wisely decided, well, if we're going to have Superman spark the Justice League, let's not do the Reign of the Supermen right now. We got enough to set up right now. And then, of course, we get the Reign of the Supermen animated movie, which is the only one to adapt these four.
Yeah.
All four of them. Wisely planted beforehand in the Death of Superman, all four of these characters are somewhat hinted at and planted in Death of Superman. And if you watch the credits all the way through, there are 4 different sort of mid-post-credit scenes to tease each one of these guys. So
What? I think I missed those.
gotta go back and watch it.
Probably had to go to the bathroom or something. You missed it.
Watch through the credits.
Yeah.
Watch through the credits on that
You're
one.
probably
everyone.
right, though,
Yeah.
Zach.
But I thought that was wise because you didn't want their presence to be completely out of nowhere in Reign of the Supermen.
For
So,
sure, yeah.
Like, we didn't really know... Like, yeah, Hank Henshaw was in previous comics, and so was Eradicator. But John Henry Irons wasn't in a previous comic before this came about. Superboy wasn't really hinted at that much. They had some stuff with Cadmus Labs, but we didn't
Okay.
know that they had plans to clone him until he actually showed up. So this is going to be an interesting one because it's less about who did the best Reign of the Supermen, because obviously the animated movie was the only one that did that.
Right.
But more of like, what do you prefer? What do you think is the best way to deal with this aftermath of the Death of Superman? So we have the Reign of the Supermen from the animated movie and the comic.
Okay.
We have Superman Doomsday, where it's sort of one Superman clone created by Lex Luthor, who kind of goes off the rails. And then we have the Justice League, where it's like there's no imposter thing, but Superman's death inspires the Justice League to form.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Zach, any thoughts?
Now, I do want to watch Reign of the Superman. I think it does sound really cool, and I'm more interested in these characters now that we've talked about them. But I'm going to have to give the point to Superman Doomsday because I like the simplification of it just being one imposter Superman and Lex Luthor being responsible for it. That seems like a cleaner storyline to tell.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the comics because I love this era of DC. I love all these guys here, and it's also like, yes, they're trying to sell toys. They want to create new characters for sure, but the way they've explained it, and it's going to end up, explaining that no one can replace Superman really,
right,
is really an excellent point. Mm-hmm. And so it makes it not just just there just to be there. So yeah, it's great. I want to see more of Eradicator and Cyborg Superman, all these guys. So it is way complicated, obviously, but they could probably simplify that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, comics, and also do they all team up against? Is there like a Superman family team later on?
Up against Cyborg Superman at the end.
At the end, yeah. Like I like them like being their own super Justice League in a sense. That's kind of cool.
Eradicator makes the sacrifice.
And the Superman video game that employed a lot of these characters, maybe all of them, is known to be the best Superman video game ever also, which came out in the 90s. We talk about the 90s a lot. Well, this is all about the 90s episode
90s,
anyway. But yeah, it was made by Blizzard too, strangely enough, that they made Warcraft. But before Warcraft, they made the best Superman video game. Anyway.
I also want to add in here that the animated movie was able to also sort of simplify a lot of the complicated shit that I was talking about earlier. So the Eradicator, they were just like, he is part of the programming from Superman's ship that came down.
Boom,
that was assigned to basically protect him the whole time. So that makes sense. You don't have this other explanation about it creating the fortress and Superman throwing him into the sun and that type of shit. And then Cyborg Superman, they really simplified this. He is an astronaut with everybody and believes that Superman will come save him when Doomsday, on his way to Earth, ends up attacking the ship.
Oh, shit.
So it's Superman's failure to save him and his family that creates this hatred. And, of course, Darkseid takes advantage of that and hooks him up with the Cyborg Superman outfit to complete the invasion. Doomsday being part 1 to kill Superman, and Cyborg Superman, the Henshaw character, being part 2 of Darkseid's invasion.
I've seen this and I forgot about that. I just remember they made fun of the slamming line because Irons is like, "Excuse me," and then he's like, "Oh, I guess that line doesn't live up," or something like that. Yeah.
So my vote then would be to the animated movie because of how they simplified that part. Still did this, but simplified it and planted them in a way that it felt a little bit more natural when they showed up versus the comic.
Right.
So I guess this is kind of a wash unless your vote... It's tricky because your vote for the comic can also apply to the animated movie because they both had the same characters.
That is true. Well, yeah. Well, either one, really. But just because of the OG status, I'll go with the comics.
Okay.
For my point.
It's a complete wash then on this one.
You were trying to make it, you're trying to sway it one way?
I'm trying to see how we're going to sway this. But
the movie was good, though.
Have what?
The movie was pretty good.
Movie's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Better than Throne of Atlantis.
But not good enough for Andrew to remember things from it.
That's true. Dude, I will forget things from my favorite show. So some people are like, they watch one movie and remember like every fucking thing about it. I'm just not that guy. Obviously.
All right, so before we get into the break, let's tally everything up. So we have comics being at, well, I guess comics is still at 2. Like it's the same as the last time I recapped it, actually, because this is a complete wash.
This is a wash.
So comics are at 2. Reign of the Superman also at 2, and then everything else is just the same at like 1 point each.
Right, 1 pity point for the other one.
However, we have an opportunity to see which one is better with Superman's resurrection. That's coming after the break.
Da-da-da-da.
Hi, I'm Ray, and this is my friend Alex.
Hi.
And we do a show called No More Whoppers.
Some call it corn, we call it therapy.
We're adults with the virility of men.
Want to hear us read snack food copy and talk about Japanese chips? Too bad!
Join us every month or so on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
Lord have mercy, y'all. Do you like hounds? Do you enjoy pooches? Do you find yourself enjoying time spent with that of canines? Talking about dogs, y'all.
As you might have heard, Superhero Stuff You Should Know has now teamed up with BarkBox. For every month, you get a box for your special canine.
Pooches.
Or hounds.
That's right, one free extra month if you go to barkbox.com/superherostuffpod.
Follow the link and you'll get a free extra month valued at $35 and valid for all multi-length plans.
So get the BarkBox for your hound, for your pooch, for your canine.
Your doggo will thank you.
I have the memories of being killed over and over again. And it's not even hyperbole to say so, because my creator literally killed me when I was an infant, over and over again, during an evil experimentation. And I have these memories through my genetic code. Someday, I would like to be known as something other than Doomsday.
Doomsday. It is I, Superman, here to defeat you once again. And what are you doing?
I'm writing in my journal.
You speak.
Yes, I speak. This is how I sound when I'm not grunting.
For some reason, your voice is a lot different from what I was imagining.
What'd you expect me to sound like, Kal-El?
I mean, just look at you. Most of the time, it's gonna be like, ugh, kill Superman. That's what like Lobo sounds like.
I'm not fucking Lobo. I'm Doomsday, and
that's for sure.
I feel hurt by these accusations.
I don't know whether to say I'm sorry.
I'd like to get back to journaling. Why the fuck are you even here?
Well, I'm here to stop you, Doomsday, but
You're here to stop me from journaling.
I just didn't realize there was more to you than just trying to kill people.
Well, there's a lot more, Kal-El, if you ever paid attention.
Maybe if you stopped trying to beat me to death with those things, we could actually sit down and talk.
After extensive self-reflection, I've changed my ways, Kal-El. Through the power of journaling, you see, and keeping a dream journal as well. I have a regular journal and a dream journal.
Well, I can't blame you. I'm a fan of writing myself, so I'm glad, but what are you going to do next, Doomsday?
I'm going to start a pie store.
Well, that was definitely not what I was expecting, but
Doomsday's Pies. Get your rhubarb, get your green Kryptonian key lime pie. Through my extensive self-reflection, I found that I really have a passion for pie making. And will you join me, Kal-El, in my new business endeavor?
well, this is not at all what I was expecting, but
You keep saying that. I'm sorry, I've turned over a new leaf. I'm sorry I killed people, but no fucking prison will hold me. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I will...
Okay, there's the Doomsday I was expecting.
I will hold it down again. That was not expected. I'm sorry. It's still in there.
If you promise you can have that under control and just make pies,
Yes, no problem.
we have a deal. I'll co-sign the lease myself.
Oh, perfect. Great. This has been great. What's your favorite pie, by the way? Apple, I assume.
How did you know?
'Cause you're plain as fuck.
You son of a bitch! It's on again!
Fucking let's do this shit!
You're listening to Superhero Stuff You Should Know, brought to you by Superhouse Podcast Network.
And we're back, and so is Superman, as we're going to cover how exactly did Superman come back to life after Doomsday killed him. The question is, did Doomsday even kill him?
That's the question.
So,
It
the
was
general
complex?
explanation. What?
It was pretty complex, huh?
Pretty complex. It took a whole issue.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me try to simplify this. So,
Please do.
Superman's vitals slow to a crawl fighting Doomsday. His powers are getting depleted, and his Kryptonian body decides to shut him down and absorb more sun so that he can heal more.
Okay.
So he's kind of dead or close to death. There's a whole variety
But
of
then he
different
gets
things.
buried away from the sun.
There's a whole variety of different things where Bibbo remember Bibbo from the animated series?
Yeah.
Comes in and tries to defibrillate him.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of electricity that helps support him. And then there's a whole other comic where Jonathan Kent has a heart attack and has his whole journey in the afterlife trying to pull Clark out of the afterlife.
There's a whole issue with that?
There's a whole issue of that stuff. And
Wow.
then, when the Eradicator took his body, he stored him in what's called a regeneration matrix inside the Fortress of Solitude to allow the cells of his body to heal. However, the Eradicator, in order to have a body, decided, well, I'm just going to use Superman's body as a battery because he's got all the solar power stored within him. I'm going to use him as a battery so that I can be able to fight crime and be Superman, that I will be the last son of Krypton. So he's basically feeding off the energy of Clark inside this revitalization matrix, regeneration matrix, in order to carry out his duties until Superman gains enough solar energy in the fortress to be fully restored.
Okay.
So that's not complicated at all.
Yeah, I'm following, sort of.
So, just to recap, not completely dead. Bibbo defibrillates him. Jonathan Kent pulls him out of the afterlife, kind of. The Eradicator takes his body, puts him inside a regeneration matrix, which has never been explained before this issue, and uses his body as a battery.
The writers are like, I have an idea.
Is Bibbo a monkey or is he that sailor guy?
He's the sailor guy. Beppo's the monkey.
I was just thinking that.
The monkey's like...
I know, when you
Beppo
said that,
goes
I
to
was
save him,
thinking in
dude.
my head that the monkey had the paddles and just ready to defibrillate him.
He's drawn so seriously too, like.
He looks like Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves will direct this one. So when
Actually, this sounds incredible.
I know.
10 out of 10 would
Beppo
see.
Andy Serkis is Beppo, the super monkey, coming to theaters,
yes,
directed by
please.
Matt Reeves. So when Superman is fully restored, he returns in a black suit with a silver insignia, as I'm wearing here. Also with long hair and a mullet, which, as I said before, I just did not want to deal with.
The greatest Superman ever lived.
I was tempted to grow it all the way out for this episode and then get a haircut immediately after recording. As we covered in our Patreon episodes, Superman has the black suit here because he is depowered. He still needs to absorb more of the sun, which increases the stakes because when he goes in to fight Cyborg Superman, he is not at full strength. He is practically
Right.
human.
That's in the movie too.
Kinda,
Animated
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
So, Cyborg Superman has teamed up with Mongol to invade Earth in the comics.
Weird.
So, he decides that, Mongol's kind of working for him, which is sort of weird, I think.
Okay.
You think it'd be the other way around or something like
right.
that, or them using each other. But anyway.
He's like, I'll work for you since you look cool.
Superman teams up with everybody here, except for Cyborg Superman, of course. Steel, Superboy. Superboy becomes basically more humbled through the experience and learns what it really means to be a hero. And in the meantime, the Eradicator comes back, and when Cyborg Superman is trying to kill Superman, Eradicator steps in to sacrifice himself and absorb all the kryptonite energy and turn it into solar energy so that Superman can be fully restored and take out Cyborg Superman.
So, as much of like kind of a dark edgelord jackass that Eradicator is, at the end of the day, he sacrifices himself.
Yeah. Superman
I like
is
that.
the true last son of Krypton, not me. Is kind of the sentiment at the end.
Right.
So
but
that
just I thought
this is
that he
our-
was going to be more selfish or something. I mean, it's obviously hard to self-sacrifice. So
I think it's because of his programming. He's just like, well, I was the last son of Krypton because I thought the last son was dead, but now he's back, and now my duty is to preserve him.
it's just a logical thing.
Yeah.
I'm liking him more and more.
Yeah. He's the best. So,
He's the best written, you said.
yeah,
this- in
he's
these
the best
runs.
written, not the most exciting visually to me. But
Yeah. I got
best
you.
written.
I got you.
So let's go into the different versions of the adaptations, because obviously we didn't really quite see this in the others. So I'm actually going to go in a slightly different order. I'm going to cover the animated movies first and then go into Snyder. So
I'll allow it, Ben.
Superman Doomsday, there is no Eradicator character.
What?
There's no Eradicator in Superman.
I-
Well, remember,
yeah,
this
yeah.
it's just a clone. So he has a robot voiced by SpongeBob, Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny's robot comes and takes him back into the fortress, and we find out that Superman wasn't actually dead. His vitals, quote unquote, slowed so he could heal. Basically, a simplified version of the comic book. There's no Bibbo or Beppo, the super monkey, doing the defibrillation. There's no Jonathan Kent in the afterlife, and there's no Eradicator or Revitalization Matrix or any of that bullshit. It's simply like, you weren't actually dead.
It's got to be Beppo, dude. Next time.
I think they team up and do
the
it.
Ben-Wan rewrite.
Beppo and Bippo,
Beppo the
and
robot.
Bibbo, they both are doing it. They're in surgery.
They triage.
You get a really serious actor
And
to
then
be
Crypto
Bibbo.
was like, he's there too.
Crypto was there too. He was saved by his pets.
Yes.
So,
Isn't there a
Superman-
Super Pets show or some shit coming out?
There's
They got that and Cars. Oh, isn't fucking The Rock the voice of Crypto?
The Rock is the voice of Crypto. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Can you smell what Crypto is cooking?
It's a dog turd.
It's dog shit.
They talk
It's
in it, right?
Kryptonian. It's Kryptonian dog shit, so it's like huge.
I think they probably talk in that one.
I was like
in
to
the-
say, is The Rock just like barking and stuff, or okay.
It's worse than Vin Diesel agreeing like, I am Groot.
Let's bring him on just to bark. Like,
The Rock is like, that'll be $70 million per
thank
day.
you. Please and thank you. I need a new mansion. We haven't given that guy enough money.
I need a fourth mansion. So, yeah.
I mean, that guy is the most bankable fucking actor on the planet. But
Yeah. So Superman in Superman Doomsday still has the long hair and the mullet. He's got the black suit. He trains in the fortress to get his strength back before
Got
donning
to.
the black suit.
the mullet helps you
Yeah.
to train.
It does.
It gives you strength.
Well, they do say that Superman is partially based off of Samson.
Oh, and something Delilah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
who's got the power with the hair.
Really?
Did the
oh, yeah. You mean just in general?
In general, yeah.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah.
specific thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the robot cut his hair like that when he was like unconscious?
I mean, the robot clearly didn't cut his hair at all.
But it's a
He's
mullet
all
though.
grown
It's
out.
still short on the front, you know.
I think it's slicked back though,
It's
right?
slicked back.
Oh,
I think it might be like
He got
like
some
my hair,
Kryptonian
kinda.
pomade for that.
He got that Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
Dapper Dan man.
We got Fop. I don't want no Fop. Goddamn it, I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Kryptonian pop. Yeah. So
Don't get me started on no brother, man. I'll keep going.
the black solar suit is to help absorb the radiation better, which is just like in the comic. He returns to fight the clone, except he's in the black suit and he's got a gun to basically take out the clone.
He's not like Batman.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not
right.
anti-gun.
He's shooting guns. That's true. The mullet gives you strength to hold to his marksmanship
Yeah.
powers.
He's like, Batman might have problems with guns, but I do not.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I am Superman.
Fucking wimp.
I believe he had some form
No
of that in the
powers, no
comic as well.
guns,
Yeah.
no mullet. Who is this guy?
Who is he? I'm Superman. So
There's like a ding on his mullet.
Reign of the Supermen, it's a similar thing. They actually do a reversal of what's in the comic. So in the comic, Eradicator's like, I must use this body, create my own body, and then use him as a battery so I can carry out my duties as the last son of Krypton. Here it's a little different. The Eradicator in Reign of the Supermen was a hologram in the Kryptonian ship who was basically assigned to take care of Kal-El since birth. And so after Kal-El supposedly died, the Eradicator took his body, put him in the revitalization, put him in the Matrix, back into his suit, into the ship, I mean, not the suit. Puts him back into the ship and decides to go out there as the last son of Krypton, but he is acting as like a solar panel, absorbing solar energy that goes back into the Matrix, goes
was
back
in the
into the
movie?
ship. That's in the movie, yeah. You saw this like 2 weeks ago.
I saw a couple months ago. I forgot about all that shit too.
So
I remember him being cool doing Eradicator shit, but I forgot about that.
So the Eradicator actually is helping to resurrect Superman, as opposed to the other version where he just puts in the Matrix and he's just like, "Oh, use a battery." It's the reverse. It's not Eradicator using Kal-El's body as a battery. It's Kal-El using Eradicator as the body.
That does
Eradicator
make sense.
sacrificing him, using himself to energize and resurrect Superman.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot, and he teams up, of course. Superman comes back, teams up with Superboy, Eradicator, and Steel against Cyborg Superman, who in this version is not teamed up with Mongol, but is teamed up with Darkseid.
Okay. Yeah.
Stakes are even higher at that point.
Yeah.
But again, black suit, silver S, long hair. It's required at this point,
Need it.
except for in Zack Snyder's version, which is the next one. Unfortunately,
They get everything but the long hair.
they did, but Snyder wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a quote I have here of him wanting to do it, saying, quote, "We talked about it a lot, and I was a slight advocate, a little bit, for the mullet."
Oh yeah. I could see him being for that.
He says, quote, but I think there was no way to go back from that, and at the time the studio was really leaning on me pretty hard. No shit. Considering what we talked about earlier. He says, I was lucky to be able to figure it out so I could get the black suit. So he's basically like, dude, they wouldn't have let me do it, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
You can do it as much as you want in the animated versions, but not in live action, I guess.
That's dumb. I wish he had his way.
I know.
You know, I mean, look at what happened with the Zack Snyder Justice League. As soon as he has his way completely, it's like a billion times better.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
So, the Snyder version, I believe, is the only one where Superman is dead. Like, there's no, like, he's storing solar energy, his body shut down, no, he is dead. And he's only resurrected by the Justice League in the scout ship using a combination of the ship's powers that were used to resurrect Zod into Doomsday, but the Mother Box and Flash's speed all combined in order to resurrect him.
Right.
Now, here is a quick trivia note on here. In Batman vs. Superman, at the time code 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 47 seconds into the film, Doomsday's body drops and Superman lands to the ground dead.
Okay.
In Zack Snyder's Justice League, Flash touches the Mother Box to resurrect Superman at the exact same time code at 2 hours, 38 minutes, 47 seconds into the film.
That's incredible and definitely on purpose.
It's all part of the plan.
Yes. Snyder said, quote, come on, guys. There's a chance it was on purpose. There's a chance it was a coincidence. If it's a coincidence, then it's such a crazy coincidence that it's not a coincidence.
That is just, that would be astronomical if that was not on purpose, you know?
Twitter users have also pointed out that this could be a reference to John 11:38 if you were to interpret the 11 as 1, 1, or 2, since it's 2 hours, 38 minutes, 11:38. The reason why is that John 11:38 is the description of Jesus resurrecting Lazarus.
Damn. That's very possible because we know he's what? He has some Christian background. What was it? Seventh-day Adventist?
Christian Science, I think.
Christian Science.
I think.
Yeah.
I might
for
be wrong
Snyder.
But, I mean, it would kind of make sense because you can't, unless you're having an 11-hour movie, which if it's anything like Zack Snyder's Justice League, yes, please.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, whole series really basically
11 hours, 38 minutes in, then he gets resurrected. Though that's a lot of time with the Justice League beforehand.
I had a friend that said he could. This is another guy that I guess that likes Henry Cavill, but he was like, I could just take Henry Cavill walking through wheat fields for 2 hours. His hand going through the fucking crop or whatever.
Yes.
Breathing and looking solemnly out of the sunset.
Yeah.
With some Hans Zimmer piano music in the background. Inserts of flashbacks.
Oh, shit, man.
It's great. So, Superman wakes up, but is disoriented, attacks the Justice League, but Lois helps him snap out of it in both versions of Justice League.
Yeah.
Superman takes some time on the Kent farm before he gets his costume back, joins the fight against Steppenwolf, and returns to his persona as Clark Kent without much explanation because Warner Brothers was fucking with Snyder's plan on that.
Right.
As we talked about beforehand, the black suit doesn't really have a specific explanation shown in the film. However, Snyder said, quote, I like the black suit as a practical thing of there needing to be a way for Superman to charge up quickly and be stronger than he was. So it works in a theoretical and symbolic way. However, I would argue it's not like Superman was low on power when he was kicking the Justice League's ass.
Right, that's true.
So it doesn't quite match up to what we were talking about in the comic book. It's mainly there for the symbolic reason, as we talked about in Justice League 2 and 3, to say that, hey, he's full Kryptonian.
Yeah.
He's not going to be Clark Kent anymore because everyone saw that body go into the ground.
Okay, yeah.
So that makes more sense. In fact, this could have been impossible explanation or inspiration, is that the Eradicator, when he's the last son of Krypton, when he's posing as Superman, who also kind of has a black suit, he tells Lois Lane, Clark Kent is dead.
Okay.
I am forever Superman.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That ties into
So
possibly
Cavill's Eradicator now.
Yeah, he's the Eradicator, who then becomes evil Superman when Darkseid.
He has a black suit, but the glasses, the visors. That could be something.
That could be, yeah.
And the mullet. That's the ultimate Superman.
Cavill in the mullet and the sunglasses.
Come on.
And the mustache.
You need Hans. Put Hans Zimmer. Make all the Superman music in synthesizer.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yes. I think we have a film, guys.
We have a pitch for the next Superman movie.
We have a new pitch, I think. Yes.
All right, forget Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
We got another
thing.
one. We have another one.
Okay.
Feel free to use any of these.
I do want to say people do criticize the black suit for, I guess, making Superman too dark in a way, but I'd argue the black suited Superman is, to me, the most hopeful, optimistic version of the Cavill Superman out of these movies, if you think about it.
His ways, his actions.
In his actions, well, yeah, because he doesn't have to fight his own kind and snap Zod's neck like in Man of Steel. He doesn't have to contend with the public turning against him like in BVS, or his mother getting kidnapped and nearly killed, and then him getting killed himself. He shows up, saves the day, helps the team, saves lives. Boom.
I think Snyder just likes the black suit.
I think
honestly,
so too,
it's a visual.
He can just justify.
Yeah.
He can justify it with it being tied into the Return of Superman storyline. And I think that's really it, to be honest with you. Because, like you said, he's already got the power level and everything. So, and honestly, even though it's not as like well explained in some of the runs of the comics, it's still cool. Yeah. It's a cool Snyder visual, and with him beating the shit out of everybody at the end. Steppenwolf in that black suit. Those shots of him going to Pound Town with the fucking on top of Steppenwolf with the laser, wearing the black suit. It was, that was great. Yeah. Some of the best Superman shit on film ever.
I know the Pound Town thing I don't always associate with fighting, so that whole sentence, was really intriguing there for a minute. He was on top of Steppenwolf and using his laser eyes.
Andrew saw a different cut of Justice League.
He downloaded
different
it
things
from a different website.
He was watching the Naughty America version.
Yeah. Brazzers. It was a Brazzers version. Yes. Somebody that looked a lot like Cavill. Yeah. That's why I was watching it.
So, let's...
Pound Town.
Let's
shit.
decide what is the best version of Superman's resurrection. I almost said Batman's resurrection for some reason. Superman's
Bat on the brain.
Resurrection. Yeah.
Bats on the brain.
We have the regeneration matrix in the comic. The very not complicated at all explanation of Bibbo defibrillating John, taking him back from the afterlife.
I'm doing a retcon. It's Beppo now.
It's Beppo. Okay.
My own. If Zack got his own fucking version, I'm doing this version.
So that's the comic book version. In Superman Doomsday, he's not actually dead. He was just sleeping. And then,
although when you sleep, you do heal like a motherfucker, like humans do, right?
True, yeah.
Not completely a lot of the time, but
Kryptonian.
It's a way to heal,
especially when you got your ass kicked by Doomsday.
Yeah.
Superman getting energy from the Eradicator from the reign of the Superman.
Oh, this is gonna be tough. I like that one too.
And then Superman being resurrected by the Mother Box, the Scout Ship, and the Flash in Justice League. So,
okay.
If we need some time to think about it.
No, I don't have any time. I'm going to go with Reign of the Superman.
Energy from the Eradicator.
Yeah, I think that's cool because the Eradicator is actually serving a purpose that's part of his programming, but also I think leads into his self-sacrifice later. So I think that's really cool. I do like Zack Snyder's version of Justice League better, but I still think it's kind of like this crazy plan or something. I don't know, like dropping him in the embryonic liquid in the ship, and then you got to charge up the Mother Box and then drop it right on top of him at just the right moment and shock him and stuff. It's just kind of like, it's a little bit strange. I'm really into the Reign of the Superman thing, so I'm gonna go with that.
Beppo.
Beppo.
Actually, if I've given a non-silly answer, yes, I agree with Zach. There's something cool about the Eradicator acting as a solar panel, essentially. And also, it's a way that robots can get really emotional scenes because there's the whole super logical aspect of them. But if the programming is to serve to the utmost capacity, you then have written yourself into a scene like this where it's like, I will serve you till the end, or whatever, till the end of my programming, like Terminator 2 does, all that kind of thing. So you get he's doing the thumb thing from T2. So I think that's how you get some of the most emotional shit out of robots in writing. So since Beppo's not real and I made that up, that version of it, I will go with the same answer as Zach.
You need to reveal that Beppo, the super monkey, is actually the Eradicator.
Beppo with a visor.
He's not really a monkey. He's a robot.
Mind blown. Because the Kryptonian monkey that's super smart is not believable enough.
Yes. Of course, we need to be realistic in this
We need
world.
to be realistic
of a solar-powered alien who saves people in a red cape. My vote is for Reign of the Supermen as well, though I really like the full circle nature of Doomsday was created here and now Superman's created here, and the whole time code thing is an amazing thing that people pointed out on Twitter. So I like that. That's my close second.
Incredible.
But yeah, the whole Eradicator giving him the energy is just... They did such a good job simplifying this comic and being like, let's not do all that bullshit and let's instead do something a little easier to explain.
Right.
That means that Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen is the winner
They tie.
for the best.
yeah.
Well, it's the same movie. Death of Superman being one movie and Reign of the Superman. Zach, you're rooting for. You haven't even seen it.
I'm gonna watch it now.
At least I've seen
You've
it.
sold me, but you don't remember any of it. So.
He doesn't remember any of it.
That's true.
I already
Like I
appreciate
didn't tell
it.
you guys what I was covering.
Hey, if I remembered more, I'd appreciate it too. Oh shit, man!
Yes. So
I swear I've seen it though.
I just wanted to spend some time with a quick shout out to the people behind the original storyline, because I gave credit to the writers of the adaptations, but in terms of the full list of people who are just like, hey, why don't we just kill him? Why don't we just have all 4 of these Superman ideas? That goes to editor Mike Carlin, assistant editors Jennifer Frank, and Frank Pitteries. I will have you read off the writers.
And the writers are Dan Jurgens, Carl Kessel, Jerry Ordway, Louise Simonson, and Roger Stern.
And our pencilers are John Bogdanove, June Brigham, John Grubbett, Jackson Goose, looks like juice with a G, Goose, maybe Jackson Juice, and Dan Jurgens, Inkers, Brett Breeding, Jackson Juice, Doug Hazelwood, Dennis Janke, and Dennis Radia.
Also want to note John Bogdanove is the one who first illustrated the Black Suit Superman and is thanked in the credits for Zack
I do
Snyder's
recognize his name.
Woo!
Yeah. Colorist Glenn Whitmore is the only one listed as colorist in the beginning of my novelization. I'm like, that can't be only one colorist. So there's probably are others.
He worked like a
He was
motherfucker.
busy,
Just like
yes.
Jesus. Across all the Superman titles.
He still has carpal tunnel.
He's still working on it as we speak. Letterers are John Costanza, Albert de Guzman, and Bill Oakley. And those are all the people as part of it. Any final thoughts on the death and return of Superman now that we've completed this storyline, starting with Zach?
Well, you have made me want to watch this animated 2-parter. I'm really excited about it, and it is probably one of my favorite Superman storylines, not because he dies, but just because it's in the 90s, and it seemed like it was really important at the time. It's not like now where you know that when a superhero dies in the comics, they're going to come back in a couple months anyways.
Yeah.
So I think it's just was it's cool that it made such a cultural impact at the time, and I can't wait to talk about Nicolas Cage Superman.
Yes.
Andrew?
This is one of the best parts of Superman, I think, just because you get all these fun characters, and Batman has the Bat family, but Superman's more solo than Batman is in a weird way.
A little bit.
So he gets this going on. Not that they're like a family, especially Cyborg Superman, but
He's the weird cousin.
I don't know. I like there being a Superman team, and this is one of the most important moments in DC history, really, right? They killed off their top guy, the first superhero ever. So, and at this time, like Zach said, they didn't really kill off any major characters ever, right?
I mean, I guess Jean Grey in X-Men was kind of an example, but like that's not as major. Like Jean Grey versus Superman,
Right.
And Mary Jane or
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy. I mean,
Gwen Stacy, but even then, like those two characters in comparison to Superman, like
yeah,
It's like an
you tell-
icon.
Yeah, like you tell people, like, oh my god, they killed Superman. It's like, they also killed Jean Grey. Who?
Yeah,
Back in
still,
1992.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a huge moment, so yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, as I said, I feel like the animated movie just really surprised me with the death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen because of just how emotional it was, especially Death of Superman and how well they portrayed that. But it makes sense because they have a whole hour and a half to set this up, and it pays off in a big way. Really well done. Not surprised that it won over here. It got to improve on all the more complicated shit that they were putting into the comic that didn't really make any sense. So with that is superhero stuff you should know. All right, so we have a few fan comments. First off is from Camden. We haven't gone over your comments in a while. This is a comment about our Ben Affleck deep dive into the Ben Affleck Batman, saying, quote, Affleck's casting made me immediately think of what he said about Daredevil, which is this quote: by playing a superhero in Daredevil, I have inoculated myself from ever playing another superhero. Yeah, let's see how that turned out. Wearing a costume was a source of humiliation for me and something I wouldn't want to do again soon.
Okay.
Until I have to pay another mortgage.
Right.
His opinion of Daredevil hasn't changed over the years, adding, quote, that's the movie I want to do. I want to be a part of that, parentheses, Batman vs. Superman. Part of it was I wanted for once to get one of those movies and do it right to do a good version. I hate Daredevil so much.
I hate Daredevil so much. Oh my god. God, he at least got Vindication or whatever with Zack Snyder's version. You know? Finally got something.
He says, quote, I still don't understand what Affleck's problem with Daredevil was. I'd understand more if he was upset at how the director's cut wasn't the theatrical version. He got a decent paycheck and it gave him the chance to get to know his future wife more. Daredevil was decent for its day. By closely emulating the Frank Miller run of the comics, Affleck treats it more like it was an episode of the Superboy TV show. That kind of attitude made him unfit for the cowl. Jokes on him. The Sound of Silence plays.
Oh my god. Rough.
So, yeah, I mean, Daredevil never really got the reappreciation that I think Batman vs. Superman gets, where people are just like, you know what, this isn't what we thought it was in 2016. There's a lot more to appreciate about this.
Daredevil has a director's cut, right?
Yeah, I have it.
Supposedly a lot better.
I have it as well.
Yeah.
I've never seen the director's cut.
Well, I know.
It's too many
what we're gonna
words.
do for a future episode then.
Oh shit. Too many words in the movie.
Yeah, we don't really cover a lot of Marvel stuff, but Daredevil is one of the ones I've read. Not surprisingly, because I mean, who's
He's the Batman of
Batman of Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
maybe
Batman of Marvel.
Moon Knight.
I haven't read
kind
Moon
of.
Knight though.
Yeah. Well, it's
If there was a Moon Knight movie when I was growing up, I definitely would have gotten into it. But because it was Daredevil,
definitely.
I was like, this guy seems cool. He seems like he's the Batman of Marvel. So I read up on,
definitely.
on him. And so I have the comics, the Frank Miller comics. Because if Frank Miller didn't hit it big with Daredevil, they never would have let him touch Batman.
Right.
So they kind of feed into each other.
I did not know we were planning a Daredevil episode. That's cool.
It's gonna. We might as well because
We need to
we're
branch
mainly
out
DC.
for sure.
We haven't really done Marvel stuff. At some point, we're gonna do I feel like I can help cover X-Men, Spider-Man, and Daredevil and Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers stuff. Love the MCU, but
Yeah.
I don't know much more.
It's
outside
probably
the MCU.
been done to death too.
That too,
Yeah, for me, it's mainly X-Men.
Yeah.
Because of the '90s cartoon that I watched a million times.
Of course.
Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, your favorite Marvel?
Absolutely.
Zach?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, next is Taco Ghost. Taco Ghost says, God, the two people that I wish could have made a Batman cartoon would be Max Fleischer and... Sorry, I can't scroll right now. Sorry, it would be Max Fleischer and then Genndy Tartakovsky.
Jindy. Do you know who that is?
Do you know the... I know who it is, I just don't know how to
Genndy
pronounce it.
Tartakovsky.
Tartakovsky, okay. This is a comment on the Fleischer Superman cartoon episode, of course.
Genndy Tartakovsky did Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
And Samurai Jack.
And then that not upcoming, the one that's already out right now.
Yeah.
I think it's called Primal.
Primal's an R-rated one that's on HBO Max
Yeah.
now. I watched the first episode of it. Fucking rules. I need to watch the rest of it, but I just got busy or something. But the first episode is awesome. It's bloody. It's R-rated. If you're not like that, then don't watch it. But it's like caveman fucking up dinosaurs and shit. It's cool. It's cool though.
It would have been cool to see a Batman of that. So thank you.
Yeah.
And then last one is from Andrew Lenahan, who's been leaving a bunch of comments on our stuff. Andrew says, quote, I think Ray Liotta would have made a good Two-Face if they were to follow the character from the comics. than how the character was portrayed in the movie. I think it's because you brought up the possibility of him being an alternate choice for Tommy Lee Jones in Batman Forever.
It would have been a lot less silly, I think.
Would have been
there's
weird.
No way Ray Liotta in 90.
It wouldn't have fit the overall tone, probably. I could see him doing Liotta could do like a really almost like a Joaquin Phoenix Joker version of Two-Face. Liotta's got kind of like a real killer vibe to him, I think.
I don't think he would have worked
favorite.
with Riddler, or Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have stabbed him in
This
real life.
would be just if you had an alternate Two-Face.
Yeah.
In general, I guess. But
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes at Goodfellas is just when he finds out that his girlfriend's ex beat her, and so he just goes up to him in the driveway and just beats the shit out of him with a gun, and then walks back in like that one shot and one take.
I'm down for Harvey coming out with Ray Liotta, by Todd Phillips. Let's see that version next.
Kind of an older Two-Face, but yeah.
Hey, shit, why not? That's not bad.
It's an Elseworlds. All right, so that is it for the fan comments. Thank you guys for that. Over to Andrew.
Man, everybody, thank you for those comments. And also, thank you to our Patreon supporters, who are Shasta, Leomo, Jose Arrocha, Super Inframan, Douglas P., Dan D., Aaron Willett, Nick Noir, Jesse E., Jeffrey R., Sketchcraft, Scott V., Yuli, and our other supporters, Sparkageddon, STCT Productions, Robert Schumann, Kooky Noms, Matt Herring, Elijah B., Shamrock Balls, Ian H., Walter the Wobot, John Wells, and Rye Guy.
I do want to add as well Comic Capital on Instagram. Thank you for promoting us, as well as the Everything Entertainment Club on Clubhouse, where I've been talking to them, and they are fans of the show.
Yes, thank you, everybody, coming in from Clubhouse.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So, thank you for that.
Awesome. Okay, so also the Patreon is patreon.com/superherostuffpod. There you can join the Shasta Army. The $1 tier gets you the shout out, and then the $5 tier gets you a whole extra show. This show here is every Monday. The Patreon show is every Friday. So we have even deeper dives and basically just addenda
I guess it is, yeah. It's our appendices.
Yeah, appendices to our episodes, our weekly episodes. So, yes, check that out. $5, cancel anytime, and that's every week. So check that out. And then Super House merch. Get your Ben Man mug. Get your Indeed Wizard rug or whatever. Really not a rug. A shirt. Although there's weird shit on there like shower curtains and stuff.
If you guys want to step on our faces, then you might as
well. Yeah, might as well. Yeah, we'll sell you that rug. So the artwork is by Wolfie Cruz. And you can get that at Redbubble. That's superhouse.redbubble.com. Also TeePublic. That's TEE. public.com/user/superhousepodcast5000. Also superherostuffpod.threadless.com. Please leave us a review on iTunes. Also, please record us an audio thing. Can be anything at all. You don't have to make a sketch or whatever. And send that audio clip to superhousepodcast@gmail.com, and we will use that clip on the show. And also, please animate our sketches if you do indeed listen to them, and animate that, and then put the hashtag for our show in the corner through the duration of said sketch video, and let us know about that, and then we'll send that out to all of our to Zack Snyder on Vero and everywhere else, of course.
Yes.
I am Thunderwolf Drew on Instagram and Twitter, thunderwolflives.com, and on YouTube as well. Check me out on there. My other content, mostly Japanese related and shit like that. And Ben.
You can also follow us on Twitter at SuperhousePod, as well as Instagram at SuperheroStuffPod. And as Andrew mentioned, we are on Vero now. We have 1 follower. Please help us out. At least get to 2.
It's Zack Snyder.
That's honestly the only follower that we need.
That would be awesome if Zack Snyder followed us.
But find us at Superhero Stuff Pod on Vero. My website is benjuanwriter.com. And my YouTube channel is in the description below. You can also check out Early Bird, my kids comic coming out called earl-e-bird.com is the website on that. My personal Instagram is BenJuanWriter. My son's Instagram, my cat, is Alfie Pennyworth Cat, which leads me to bring up that we are affiliates
Indeed.
with Whiskerbox.
Indeed.
If you are a cat dad like myself, like Andrew, like Zach, then Whiskerbox will provide a nice little gift box for your feline friend or friends from month to month. We also are affiliates with BarkBox. If you don't have any feline friends, but you do have canine friends.
Indeed. Indeed.
Or maybe you have both, in which case you might as well sign up with both and get both of them.
Heck, why not?
Yeah.
Man?
Do the bubble box.
Get both of them. There's
For your
box.
fish.
Yes.
Bubble box.
We're not affiliates with them.
That's gotta be a thing, though,
Arthur
actually.
about that. Yeah.
Dude, you need to fucking trademark that shit now.
Yep.
That's very good.
An Atlantean bubble box brought to you by Volco.
God, we should have thought of that. We missed that opportunity.
Why are we doing a podcast? We
Yeah.
should just be making this type of shit.
BarkBox and Whiskerbox, everybody.
We do have a special BarkBox code that you can basically bring up, and you can also find it at superhousepod.com/shop, which has all the different affiliates that we have.
Indeed, Amazon and eBay, and basically that's it. But yeah,
Whiskerbox and BarkBox.
and the other two we mentioned, yes.
And Bubblebox coming soon.
Bubblebox.
Once.
Let's see if that's real.
Over to Zach.
And if you're tired of wiping your ass with dry paper like those Charmin bears, check out Tushy. No, just kidding.
We're not officially with
That's
them.
next.
Just
Although
kidding.
I'm gonna look into that, man.
Everybody else is doing it. I would love to push Tushy. I think that would be the most
Just push it out
fun commercial you could do. But yeah, if you want to see more of my artwork, if you want to check out what I'm doing on the Grams and on the TikToks and on the YouTubes, it's Zachary Jackson Brown Art, and you can go to my website at zacharyjacksonbrownart.com.
Awesome. So, as we've discussed, these are not the only adaptations of the death and return of Superman. In this week's Patreon, we're going to cover the other adaptations of these fine characters, especially the reign of the Supermen. Connor Kent, a.k.a. Superboy, Steel, John Henry Irons, the Eradicator. Well, actually, the Eradicator was only in Reign of the Superman. He's kind of getting fucked when it comes to being adapted. He's not in anything else. But Cyborg Superman.
We gotta change
Henshaw.
that.
Yeah.
We gotta change that.
However, he was supposed to be in Tim Burton's Superman Lives.
What really?
Hell
Eradicator,
yeah.
a version of the Eradicator was supposed to be in it. And
Burton's
yes,
like, I like those glasses.
we will. I don't know if they were going to do that, but we will do a deep dive into the many different scripts that Tim Burton and Nicolas Cage were famously attempting to do in the 1990s. We'll do a whole series because there's a ton of scripts, a ton of reading that I got to do in order to do that.
You know I will draw
Thank
him
you.
for that. I will draw a Nicolas Cage Superman.
Cage?
Absolutely.
Oh man, that's going to be great. I think that's. We've gotten some demand on that, so
Yeah,
we gotta get
yeah,
into some
yeah.
research. But we also have to cover the rest of Superman of Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, no, we haven't gotten.
We've gotten asked, "Where's that Superman 2?" And I'm just like, "We've been a little busy."
Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League really
There's been a new
took some time.
Superman media
Yeah.
that we've been absorbing.
Yeah, that one also. Yeah.
Well, obviously that's not the next episode. We have covered the heroes. Now it's time to cover the villains. And Zach, you're going to have to pee into a jar for the next episode because the
Already
next
did.
episode is covering Jesse Eisenberg's Lex.
he gets
Lex
Zack
Luthor.
is actually method for this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's really weird.
So we're going to cover Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor in terms of, is he a good Lex Luthor? What versions of Lex Luthor does he draw off of? And you might find some unexpected things off of that. So,
He was drawing off some shit for that, other than
well, not the jar of pee stuff, though. If there is a comic
Okay.
issue with Lex peeing in a jar, please let us know.
Max Landis. That's the main thing, dude.
We will cover that in the episode coming up, but that is what's coming up on the docket. Lex Luthor, then we'll do other episodes on the different villains.
And please do us a favor.
I want you to tell all your friends about us.